Hello there, people of the internet. This is one of those examples of I do this anyway, so I may as well start recording it and make some content on it. Maybe you guys will enjoy it, maybe you won't, but I feel like you will. So we got a whole surplus of new people coming on the channel, and not a lot of them know that this Cougar is a huge part of my life. This is a 1986 Mercury Cougar. She's not pretty. Cosmetically, there's rust, there's Bondo crackages. I think she was in an accident before I got her. A lot of places I rattle can it. She's dirty, she's rough. She is a rough car, that's definitely for sure. But she's my sweetheart. What the hell? That's a piece of a gun. Looks like the retaining spring of something. I don't think I need that. And this is the pop tab to a bottle of liquor. We're gonna ignore that one. Now originally whenever I started recording this, I was like, alright, I'm gonna take it over here, I'm gonna like wash it off, I'm gonna get it presentable, but if I did that, it wouldn't be honest. It wouldn't be the Cougar. It wouldn't be what she is to me, and what she is something, at this point, somebody that I know I can genuinely rely on. Now me and this Cougar have been through a whole lot together. We have been through the absolute ringer together. And there was a time in my life where I had thought to myself that I was at absolute bottom, like absolute rock bottom, then dug a grave underneath rock bottom to bury myself in. But I always told myself that I'd be alright as long as I had my Cougar to keep me going. And as long as I told myself that, more and more I began to realize it was true. And 1986, that's about 30 years old, a little bit over 30 years. And I know for a fact that I myself have put this Cougar through the ringer, and I don't know what she's seen before that. It is because of that that this Cougar has taught me a very important lesson. Just as I have done a lot of forceful pushing with this Cougar, she continues to keep going. So one of the lessons that she's taught me is that no matter what life forcefully pushes onto me, I can keep going as well, especially as long as I have my Cougar at my side. Now let me go over the specs of this old girl. She's an 86 Cougar 5.0 positive traction rear end. I've done a lot of work to her, like a lot of work. I had the transmission completely rebuilt, redid the PCM fuel injectors, redid the spark plugs, compression testing, redid the drivetrain, redid the rear end, redid the brakes on it, redid the fuel system, including fuel pump, fuel filter, fuel lines, basically everything on that. Went through the instrument panel, got all that crap working again besides the thermostat, but I did install besides the temperature gauge, but I did install a aftermarket temperature gauge up on the dash, along with a voltmeter, just so I can go ahead and make sure that everything is running properly. Originally, whenever I got this old girl, she had its original radio inside of it. But that radio unfortunately gave out while I was in possession of it, so I had to throw an aftermarket radio in there. Not really that big of a deal to me, especially now because I got Bluetooth, I got CDs, I got all kinds of stuff that I can enjoy from this. But the plastic being 80 years old, the dash is busted up, the little pieces that cover up under the steering wheel, those have been, you know, destroyed. I'm in the process of gluing those back together, but I've been putting it off because all my attempts have not worked out. Where the radio is, I don't have a way to mount the radio, at least not yet. As a result, the cover that would normally go on top of the radio is not there. I do have a universal installation kit on its way, but I figure whenever I start doing upgrades to the Cougar, I'll go ahead and record those, because I didn't want to just throw the Cougar on you guys at her best. I wanted to show you guys her whenever she is still rough around the edges. Now obviously the paint on it is not great. The seat belts, they don't retract. The headliner is falling down. She's rough. She is a rough car, but in the past 4 years I've thrown about 100,000 miles on her because I've been exploring. She's got a timing chain cover leak, transmission leak, valve cover leak. She's leaking coolant from somewhere. My assumption is the reservoir tank. She's got a brake leak, despite the fact that I went through, redid everything on the brake system. I'm uncertain if she has any oil leaks, but I would not be surprised if she did. There's a pretty good introduction on the Cougar. Now, that being said, one thing I do very, very often is explore. I travel around all over the place, exploring these different places to check out, and I do it all inside of my Cougar. Like I said, past couple of years, I've thrown over 100,000 miles on this old girl, just driving her around to explore some of these different places. And I figure, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and start recording that. So one thing I'm gonna do, there's a lot of places around here that I've been to before, I go to regularly, and we're gonna go ahead and go explore those. A lot of these places have shown up on my channel before, but I figure I'm gonna go ahead and try and make an actual series out of it. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna call this series. I'm probably gonna call it Driving the Cougar. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna drive this old girl. She's not, God, she might be rough around the edges, but man, she is fantastic. And she is definitely not a vehicle that should be sitting in a yard rotting away. That's one of the main reasons why I drive her around the way that I do. So we're gonna take the old Cougar and we're gonna drive her to all these random places that I think would be really, really cool to check out. So if you want to be a part of that, go ahead and stick around and I'll see you there. I think that this right here was a pretty good introduction to what I'll be doing here. So thanks for watching.